Hello everyone, welcome back. How are you all doing today? So now that we are just 10 months away from the official release of Star Wars Episode 9, a lot of people are very curious about the teaser trailer of this movie. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, when we look at Episode 9, that is one thing that a lot of fans are very curious about right now, is of course the first set of footage of this movie that'll give fans an idea of the tone of the film and the exact vision that will be provided by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, one of which has all to do with some of the shot descriptions of the upcoming teaser trailer, which is set to debut on April 11th of this year. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of Rey with an ignited blue lightsaber next to both Finn and Poe on a large battlefield. It's described to be a side shot of the three characters appearing to be in fear of what's coming. It's also described that Chewbacca is seen in the background with his bowcaster. The next goes over Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren kneeling down to something. It's described that Kylo appears to be inside of an ancient castle of some kind, with his ignited lightsaber stabbed into the ground. Another goes over Kerry Russell's character codenamed Mara, rappelling down a large cliff with other brief glimpses of her sprinting and dodging blaster fire, with two large blaster pistols in her hands. The last goes over both Rey, Finn, and Poe on board of the Millennium Falcon, inside of the cockpit appearing to be shocked by something with a red glow on all their faces. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, one thing I will say is that this sounds amazing, it sounds stunning, and I cannot wait to see exactly what Disney and Lucasfilm are going to provide to us, the fans, exactly what's in store for Episode 9. So with that being said, alright, I gotta go over the first thing here, is where Rey is actually next to both Poe and Finn, while she has her lightsaber ignited, the blue one, the one that was actually used by both Anakin and Luke, that is going to be reforged in this movie. And that's another great thing to look forward to in this film, is that we're finally going to have that Luke, Han, and Leia dynamic in Episode 9, where we're going to have Rey, Finn, and Poe all teaming up and going up against the First Order and doing a lot of, battles with each other and stuff like that. So that's one thing to really look forward to in this movie, something that I feel should have been a part of the Star Wars sequel trilogy from the very beginning. That's the one thing that I felt was missing from the sequel trilogy, is of course having all three of the new trio characters all together going up against the greater evil. Now, the next thing that I do want to go over, of course, is Kylo Ren inside of what's described to be an ancient castle structure of some kind, with his Knights of Ren kneeling down to something, with his actual lightsaber ignited and jabbed and stabbed into the ground. So, with that being said, alright, I gotta say here, I'm starting to believe that this is going to be Darth Vader's fortress on Mustafar, and there's a reason to believe that is because, well, we actually heard before in the past, a couple of weeks ago, that they were actually developing a bottom portion of Darth Vader's fortress, which could very well indicate that it's going to be a part of this film, either in the second or third act of this movie, where we get to see Kylo and the Knights evolve as characters. And I think that providing, Darth Vader's castle in a Star Wars film is probably the best way to go about doing things in order to keep the legacy of Vader alive in the Skywalker saga, especially extending of what we saw at the very end of course, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, or the middle, I should say, give or take. Now, the next one that I do want to go over is how Kerry Russell is described to be sprinting on a large battlefield as well, with other brief glimpses of her sprinting and dodging blaster fire, with two blaster pistols in her hands. Now, again, like I say, I'm starting to believe that she's more around the lines of a bounty hunter as opposed to a Knight of Ren. Now, yes, she does have scenes with Adam Driver, Mark Hamill, and Daisy Ridley. However, that's not necessarily, to say that she's going to be a Knight of Ren. There's a big possibility that she is, but I think that the other big possibility is that she is going to be a bounty hunter in this story, because it seems like she's a loner in the film for at least a good chunk of the scenes that she's actually in for Episode 9. It seems as if she's a loner in this movie and will be doing her own thing. And lastly, alright, what I really do want to go over brings me back to Solo: A Star Wars Story, I don't know why, is the description of course, both Rey, Finn, and Poe inside the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, appearing to be shocked, where all their faces are glowing red, as if they are looking at something that is happening. It could be, the initiation of a new superweapon that is actually developed by the First Order. It could be a ship exploding in the distance, for all we know. I'm not quite sure, but it really does remind me of that shot that we saw in, I believe it was the teaser or the trailer of Solo: A Star Wars Story, where you had Lando, Kira, Han, and Chewbacca on board of the Falcon, looking at something that was off-screen. We're getting something similar in a sense in this scenario for Episode 9. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.